Hey everyone, this is Dusklemaka's That Gamer, and this is Scratch's Director's Cut. I don't know if this opening, whatever play, it might just be a logo. That's like a nucleus, except it's nucleus. Anyways. Yeah, it was just the logo. Here we are, the Scratches that happen to be a Director's Cut. Let's roll straight into this. I have played an hour of this previously. If you look at our load games, you can see my magic there. But that's nothing. Let's go straight into new game. Now I'm gonna probably have to read a lot, so I'm gonna have to get myself ready for that. I might refill a drink at one point. I think that's all. Okay, let's kick straight into Scratch's Director's Cut. Which game do you want to play? The Last Visit? I'm assuming that you play The Last Visit after you've played the Director's Cut. Would I be right about that? Wrong about that? Is The Last Visit? I feel like that would be a scenario that you play after you play the main game. Don't quote me on that, but that's going to be my assumption. So I guess Director's Cut. Move some things around. That is what I think it is. Let's go straight into it then. Has the word last in it. That usually means last. Huh.
I arrived at Blackwood Manor one cold Saturday morning amidst a thick veil of fog. The weather didn't look good, and there was an unnatural calm surrounding the area, yet I soon became entangled with the place.
Oh, jeez. I remember having this glitch before. So I go to my setup, disable that, and there you go. Magician will be fixed now. Ta-da! Now then, welcome to the Manor of Scratch's Director's Cut. It looks a lot more green in the cutscene here. It's like a red sky. Typically I don't trust that, but hey, it's our house. Now, remembering the setup of this game, that house is what we've just bought. In fact, if I observe it, we'll probably move up to it. But first I want to look at my car. It's the metal gate. The imposing... Actually, wait, let me change one thing about the area that you guys are seeing, because I realize that you guys can't see the text at the bottom. Even if I wanted to leave, I could not do so on foot. This is a very abandoned house. We're off in the middle of the woods where no one would really actually go. I guess, how can we use our hand to guess? We can interact with things if it has a hand icon, it seems. This is an investigation icon. Alright, let's look in our mailbox. The mailbox was empty. Well, that's unfortunate. Apparently no one loves us enough. We do have, we look over here, whatever this is, it's an empty book. Enthralling. What else do we have in our item inventory? We have a key, which I cannot use easily. In fact, we have 2 keys. What looks like a briefcase. Can I open the briefcase? No. Maybe that's just my luggage, and it looks like a cassette or tape or player thingamajigger. Hey, it's things that we can use. Let's look at our car in the meantime. I investigate you. What is this? It's like knock. I guess that probably means that we can't actually do anything. That's just our null hand. It's like a fist. It was the boot. The boot of my car, which, considering my non-existent technical expertise, I hoped I would never need to open. He does not open the back of a car, and he calls it a boot. I mean, this is an older game, this is just what they all called it back then. It's in the seat of my car here, just my mirror window stuff. I could honk the car all day. But we're not going to get enthralled by that for too long. Is there anything in the apartment? Yes, there is. There are some keys. So thus I have 3 things of keys that I have no idea what they do. Hey, it's progress. We probably would need those eventually. Get out of the car seat. So much to investigate. I don't have any feet. Those are some nice cobblestone stuff, though. Alright. So the house is over there. We can't, in fact, run like a maniac into the forest, which is unfortunate. So, yeah. Moving forward we go. The finger points this way, so I go that way. There's actually a shed thing back here. I bet it's locked, though. But hey, I've got 3 pairs of keys. I'm not surprised. A hefty lock was preventing my entry to the garage. Well, probably none of these keys are actually for, probably none of these keys are actually the solution, but never know. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's no way I could open it with my bare hands. That's why we have keys, right? The key didn't fit in there. Oh, is this an additional observation thing? I thought that was a key, but no, I actually think it's a magnifying glass. The key didn't fit in there. Yeah, I know. What's that weird icon that just popped up for a few moments? I swear I saw something. Shake my fist around. God damn it, world! Okay, let's actually go this way. Aren't those car keys from the car? Well, no, they were in the department, so they were in the car, and maybe actually, it was the car starter. Maybe they are actually for the car. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Well, I had only just arrived, and the idea of going driving again wasn't very tempting. Hey, but who would leave their car keys in the car? Wouldn't that mean that someone could come inside the car and lock the car closed? Okay. I feel like it's a bad idea to leave our car keys in the actual car slot right now. What do I know? Anyways, let's actually head towards our home over there. I'm going to slowly crawl that way. I can observe my fountain. Not very many people have fountains in the front of their house. I'm not sure if I'd like to take care of a fountain from like moss and all that grows on top of it, but it's a nice little thing. By little thing, I mean that's probably super expensive to install one of those, and probably high maintenance. Water tends to have effect on things. There's also a pathway over there. It's like, I see the pathway. Can I go that way? Yes, I can. I was walking into the woods one day, had a dead end full of soils of dirt. Oh, there's actually a greenhouse back here. Jeez, why am I going away from my home? Let's investigate you. You're probably locked. The door to the greenhouse was stuck, probably due to some serious rusting off its hinges. So we need to find some good oil, I think. Don't quote me, I've never been to this place. This fucking house of mine. It's my newly bought home. Apparently I didn't really investigate it before I bought it, which is typically not a good idea. That said, honestly speaking, if I could have a house like this for fairly cheap, just a creepy house in the woods, then honestly, probably as a horror enthusiast, I'd be all over it. And then probably get killed in some murderous rampage. Didn't I come from this direction? Oh geez, I'm getting lost in the woods. Oh no. Which way? Not this way, it seems. Let's go to something at my feet I'm missing. Actually, was there something there? There's something here. There was a small pool of water below the arching tree. Well, I'll keep that in mind as I look for my way back home. It's a cold, cold forest. This looks like an intersection. There's the greenhouse. There's a pathway. Is there not a pathway by the greenhouse? I guess not. Okay. How about... I think I went that way, so what's this way? Here we go, there's my home. Ah! Gonna make it back! There you go, found my house again. I wonder what's inside the tower. Whenever there's like an arching upward area in the part of the house, I always get interested in what's actually up there. It's probably just a small room, but you know, it could be something cool. Ah, here we are, home sweet home. It's actually our first time entering our home. I bet one of the keys I have, like the only other key I have, is probably the house key. Anything to the left? No. Anything to the right? No. Actually, let me test something. I'm gonna go to escape for 1 second. Okay, set up. We can actually change or turn our speed up. I'm just kind of curious how that's going to change if I do that. Text speed. Yeah, let's try it. Let's just see what it's like. Back. See how fast this speed is. I want to go fast. Oh my. Yeah, I'll keep it for the moment. Maybe that's a little bit too fast, actually. You know, for atmospheric reasons. That's good if I wanted to go really fast, but I think for the sake of atmosphere, I'm going to turn that back to normal. There we go. Back. Also, I should keep in mind, I think that this game is manually saved. Now that I was paying attention, I just noticed there was a save load option, so I'm going to save my game over the previous, but I played this a couple years ago. And let's enter inside our house. That's of course locked, which means I probably have to use my key. Here you go. With very little effort, the key unlocked the front door. Well, that's hopefully a good sign of a key. If your door was hard to open, that'd be unfortunate. That seemed pretty nicely into a CG cutscene there. Here we are, our fine abode. It's the house of which we have decided to buy and not explore at all. The only reason it's full of furniture is because apparently the previous owner's furniture came free with the house. That's a pretty sweet deal, if not a bit suspicious. Let's check out our clock. A majestic grandfather clock was gently ticking nearby. It was almost sleep-inducing, but I was glad it was working. Now where the fuck is the phone? Oh, jeez. I just came in. I don't know where a phone is. It's over here. Hopefully... Oh, there it is. There's the phone. Let's pick that up.
Hello?
Michael, it's me.
Hey, Jerry. It's good to hear your voice.
I see that piece of junk you got there is working.
My thoughts exactly. I was afraid it'd fall apart as soon as I laid my fingers on it.
So how did you find everything? Do you like the place?
It's hard to tell yet. I'm very impressed, that's for sure.
You sound odd. Is everything okay?
Yes, it's perfectly fine. It's just that I'm in awe. I mean, pleasantly surprised. This house is like a dream come true.
So you do like it? You got me worried there for 1 second.
I'm telling you, I'm going to turn this place into a factory of horror stories.
Good. You ought to finish that book. I'm rooting for you, mate. You sure everything is in order?
Well, I just got here. Let me have a look around, and I'll get back to you if I find anything strange.
Excellent. I'll talk to you later.
Well, actually, truth be told, I have a walkthrough on hand in case I get stuck, so... You know, it's just... With these sort of games, the point-and-click adventure games, I enjoy them to a certain extent, but they oftentimes I get stuck in them, so I'm going to keep a rule of thumb for myself when I play point-and-click games. I'll allow myself the luxury to actually have a walkthrough in case I get way too stuck for my own good. Anyways, let's look around for now, though. I'm not stuck at the moment, I'm just looking around. That clock over there, I'm going to investigate you. A majestic grandfather clock was gently ticking nearby. I would not call that gently ticking. It sounds like tick. Anyways, talk. It's pretty loud right next to it. It was almost sleep-inducing, but I was glad it was working. I'll be honest, I couldn't sleep to that. Is there like an umbrella here I can grab? It was a rather torn umbrella. There was a huge vast of oriental craftsmanship standing by the windows. Now there is an upstairs, but typically I like to scan houses from room to room or floor to floor and all that, so it was just an ordinary vase. I'm actually going to start over here with the living room. I assume that's the living room. I bet this is like a dining room or kitchen, and this is probably our living room. Is there a book over there I can investigate? No? But I can, in fact, step over here. Is this really not... No, I can't look at it now. It looks as if it was an untidy person enjoyed reading in the living room. That's hardly the definition of untidy. I mean, it's not tidy, but... What? This is not sloppish, really. There's a book here I can actually pick up and read here, so yeah. Oh boy. During a fit of rage, I burnt any previous diary. Not that I regret it, as is my diagnostic notes were worth anything. Their only purpose was to keep me sane. I feel that this is my escape route. My only means of finding some inner peace whenever I put my pen to the paper. I feel that I can reflect upon my situation. I just wish I had more options, that's all, but I'm rambling. I just think clearly. I must think clearly. Focus. Focus. May 27th, 12th? Jeez, I can't. This cursive font's gonna be a little hard for me to read. I apologize for that. I've become an eternal guardian, stuck between few choices, none of which are good. Do I fulfill a promise and violate everything that I believe I'm the very principle? I believe I'm the very principle of my life, or am I condemned to spend the rest of my existence in this? Is that like dead-end? I don't think it's condemned. It's like dead-end state, a ghost with no other purpose than just being here, watching. I truly have no escape. I can't find an appropriate solution to this problem, and I must pay the price. I'm a shadow of the man I used to be. The M's look like W's. The man I used to be. Only these notes remain, my testament in these moments of meditation, my sole companion. June 26th. Today I spent the entire afternoon staring at the window, my mind a blank. Oddly enough, I really didn't care. It seems now as though it was something natural for me, a part of my personality. But I know the reason very well. I've lost my soul. I'm an empty shell devoid of any feelings. I re-announced them on that fateful day, and the worst thing is, I knew there was going to be consequences. No, that's not true. Consequences were far worse than I expected. How could I be so blind? January 24th, that's a big jump in time. Actually, these are all big jumps in time. I often wonder what would have happened if we had simply reversed it all. What would have happened right now? I come out and told the world what really happened. No, I'd end up rotting in jail. Although, that might be better destiny compared to this internal suffering. November 17th. I can't say for sure when it began. I just heard them one morning coming from the next room. The whispers. Are they real? Have I been alone for too long? They won't stop. I can't stand it any longer. February 9th. Ever since I focused it away, that everything's... Jeez, I feel like I'm reading a lot of this wrong. To have calmed down a bit. Perhaps James was right, after all. It's awareness, or it's madness, I know, but at this point, I'd be inclined to believe anything. From May. Over the years, I was convinced that everything James suffered was a misfortune, a whim of destiny. For the first time ever, I'm not so sure anymore. I never thought it could happen, but I believe I understand now. If this is so, then cursed by my soul. Poor James. If I had acted another way, then maybe things would have worked out differently, but it's too late now, and I have to suffer my Calvary. Gee, okay. December 13th. The noises are back, although this time they're different. Before, I'd only hear them inside my head, as if someone or something was whispering, but how to put this? Interrupting my thoughts, but now I can really feel them. That is feel. Spreading around the house. What are they? September 24th. I've realized the noises are coming from down there. I don't want to think about it anymore. December. They are unbearable. They get worse at night. Oh, how I wish it would stop. What is going on down there? I don't dare go near. I don't want to know. May. That's been scratched out there. God, how many years have passed? I have lost all sense of time. I have to get out of this place. The diary disturbed me in a way I couldn't explain, yet I felt curious about what had been tormenting that poor fella. Well, I'm sure we'll find out in due time. Anyways, for the meantime, let's start exploring. It's a painting. Anything specific about this painting? It's weird that I can observe it. Call me suspicious. Can I observe every painting? Oh, I guess I can. One of these paintings then is going to be hiding something. Enjoy the art! Look at that fine artistry. Anything inside the pot? Anything inside the goddamn fireplace? I'm suspicious of any fireplace. An impressive fireplace, and surprisingly clean too, without it having been used in a long time. That is typically how these old fireplaces work. The noise was the clock. Yeah, that clock could be quite maddening, actually. You can hear it from the whole house. It just so happens the clock is like next to the ventilation system, so you can hear the ticks and the talks through everywhere in the home. I always wanted to be a pianist, but eventually found another use for my fingers. He means writing, but that could be taken so many different ways. Anyways, clock. A fancy red clock, which sadly wasn't functioning. But let's pay attention to the time that's paused. It's paused at 10:09:37. Because that might be related to a puzzle or something. I played too many horror and adventure games. You know, it's that famous painting. I recognize it. Here we have... Yep. Anything else to investigate? Anything on the goddamn ceiling? Because we can actually look at the ceiling. Oh, there's like a little crevice in the wall, but whatever. Can I play the piano? Like a piano master? There's actually a music sheet here. It was all gibberish to me. Strange that we can investigate it, though. Because I believe this whole game's going to be set in this house and those buildings surrounding the house. I take it that we'll have a lot of exploration to do, and probably a lot of these things may not function well on the first day. It's October 22nd right now, I think. But yeah. Oh, geez, I bet there's like a super long book in here. Let's look for it around for the moment. I'm going to first investigate the globe. It spins. Cool. Now then, actually, is that another clock? We keep a clock in every room. They can afford it. Several trophies for remarkable accomplishments adorned the room. A diploma granting the title of construction engineer to James T. Blackwood. That's the same James that the other guy I was talking about. Must have been an old resident. Several trophies for remarkable accomplishments adorned the room. Most of the clocks in the house aren't working. This one's at a different time than the previous clock. This one's at 6:29. Nothing down in this part of the room. I guess I'm also going to investigate this drawer over here. The little drawer wouldn't open. No smoking can kill you. No, smoking can kill you, especially when the cigars are decades old. Well, there you go. If we need to burn something or need a cigar or something, I'll keep that in mind. Let's investigate this part of the room. The place was full of exquisite, albeit aged, or I guess that's candelabras. There's another fireplace. The stone in the fireplace was cold to the touch. This is actually the other side of the fireplace that we saw in the other room, so I guess they decided to make it a double-sided fireplace. Are any of these books investigatable? The glass was empty. Or was it not full? Pity, I could have used a drink. Just a bunch of uninteresting books, so you claim. Alright. That desk over there is obviously the main focal point of the room. It looks like somebody's study, which means there's probably something to study. Not much in there. Second drawer, there's a letter here. I'll use that, I just click it here. What would I do? That's apparently an item I can use in the actual world, but I have no idea for what purpose. Okay. Is that some drawers? Oh, there's a drawer that's locked. Intriguing. I bet there's a lot of reading about to happen. Called intuition. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's do it. I wish it wasn't written in this weird cursive. I wasn't ecstatic after reading the journal. The material was incredible. That's what our character claimed, but we haven't actually read it yet. Okay, I'll do my best to read this cursive. I wish it was in a different font, because I always mistake the N's for W's in this weird writing and other characters, but okay. February 6th. The construction of the railway bridge is almost complete, and was quite smoothly. It took longer than I expected, yet with it would have lasted, but yet I wish it would have lasted longer. I will be very sad to leave South Africa. I've become so attached to it, its culture, its arts, over the past few months, that I can't help feeling as if it was already a part of me. I will surely return someday, soon hopefully, although I'm afraid there is a great deal of work to be taken care of back in Old Britain. Unfortunately, I made good friends here, and who were ecstatic about my new appreciation of their country. They have offered me some wonderful objects as a token of gratitude, which I have already, created and got ready to ship, along with many trinkets. I bought myself, it looks like I'm about to start a very substantial collection. It's a good thing Catherine agreed to move into our new home, though I fear several renovations will have to be made. Even more if I'm intending to start a serious new hobby. A collection of African arts. Interesting. No. It seems I'll have to get back to work. John Patterson has just told me some natives are causing trouble. A very unfortunate thing, although I'm secretly rejoicing. That's a J. The J looks like an F kind of. February 12th. The natives won't leave. It's not like they're causing trouble so much as they're unsettling our workers. The only complaint so far has been distraction. They just stand still between the trees staring at us without blinking an eye. I've watched them for a few minutes, and they truly seem like some Tenbro statues. At first it was just annoying, but lately it's become downright creepy. They seem to be stalking us, so it's not like they're hindering the construction, but there's a general uneasy feeling, as if they're about to jump at us at any moment. I think I will hire some protection as a measure of precaution. Huh. February 15th. Fascinating! I've been looking into the natives. They live in a nearby village and are a very small group, yet they seem to manage quite well. I had thought of them as quite an uncivilized tribe, but their movements are calculated, and one can perceive a sense of careful organization in their task. Oddly enough, they seem to be very brutish, and their aspect looks awful, although I couldn't take a good look at their facial features as I followed one of them completely on my own, and it could have been dangerous getting any closer. Also, the village is poor and very rough, but some of the shacks leapt out as inviting or special. It made me very curious. I will try to come closer tomorrow. February 16th. My second expedition to the village of the natives has failed by an unexpected problem at the bridge. I'm afraid it was due to a slight miscalculation on my part, an indication that I should be focusing more on its task at hand and put my sudden love for all African things aside for a moment. It was my fault, and I accept it. February 20th. They are at it again, lurking beyond the forest. It's amazing how they have changed our perception of the surroundings. At first we were delighted by the quiet nature of the place. Now we fear what horrors might be concealed in the dark and foreboding cloak of trees. The tops loom above us, overshadowing the bridge, and strange noises haunt our meals. Even the river, willing ungodly secrets. We could be, of course, a bit more sensitive towards distractions, but I can't help feeling the area has, in fact, become more sinister. And yet I'm still looking forward to satisfying my curiosity about the tribe. February 24th. At last I found something more about the neighboring tribe. This is an incredible finding, and I just can't withhold my excitement. Some elders at the local town happened to know about them, but only through stories they heard. The most surprising thing is the tribe was assumed to be extinct long ago, but according to my vague descriptions, the elders think that would be dealing with a legend here. Everything they ever learned of them was during their childhood, when the tribe was stalking the town, much in the same way they have been stalking us. People used to call them Dilan. As such was the sound of screams heard, echoing late into the night. They come out into the streets and see an evil glitter atop a hill in the distance. Some would say it was a fire, others the cursed spirit of an ancient god. Whatever it was, they say the bright light amid these fantastic screams was bone-chilling. The macabre scene would suddenly stop just as it had begun out of nowhere, never to be seen again in days to come. Intervals between those horrible nights became longer and longer until they soon faded into oblivion. The tribe apparently had retreated back into the obscurity until now. They were later known as the Dalmar, a rather more scientific name, although none of the people I spoke with could possibly remember its origin. I find it extremely surprising that nobody has ever heard about this tribe with the exception of a few townspeople. They must be incredibly rare, and judging by the stories passed on from generations in the town, very old. February 27th. I will confess that I have been nearly obsessed with this strange tribe. I see them as the most prized goal of my appreciation towards all South African things. A dangerous yet irresistible reward. I feel as if they are my discovery. I simply have to study them before leaving. I fear I won't have the chance to ever again. It has become my important goal of mine, even more important than finishing the bridge. March 4th. Finally, I've managed to see them. My God, what a disturbing spectacle. When we arrived, they were moving around the village very slowly without speaking or communicating with each other, each minding his or her own business, completely alien to the rest of the world. They were filthy looking, coarse, and downright disgusting. I couldn't see any weapons, but they could have been stored somewhere. It was all very strange behavior in the tribe. They must be quite unique. Yeah. Then, as if they had suddenly all become possessed by some wild spirit, they began shaking sporadically and screaming like mad. Some of them dropped to their knees and lifted their hands to the sky, eyes blank and moaning in an indescribable way. Two of them walked away, still in that monotonous, slow manner, in great contrast to the rest of the scene, into a shack. The next minute they brought out into the open an odd-looking mask. Its shapes, colors, and overall looks, while unsettling, was memorized, I can't say that, and I felt instantly hypnotized by it. It rendered my modest collection of African curiosities into dull and uninteresting items. The mask was very ominous, and the whole tribe seemed to greatly revere it. Soon they began to gather around it and move in circles, fluttering and chanting a guttural fall. Judging by their emotions and aspect of the whole ritual, it must have been some kind of war ritual. I'm not sure how to explain what happened next, as I feel my pulse is already throbbing. Words fail me to recount the most disturbing thing I've ever witnessed. One of the male villagers walked into the middle, near the mask by his own will. It was an almost automatic act. All of a sudden, the remaining members became silent. I can't tell for how long it lasted, but I was afraid to breathe. I think Dalby and the others were also scared. They wouldn't even blink. I remember being soaked wet and expectant. The silence was so unnatural. Then a few members separated from the people circling the mask and jumped on the single villager, beating him to death. To be completely faithful to the event, the small crowd tore him apart. They grabbed his legs in twos and threes and twisted them in a manner I dare not describe. His face was disfigured with their bare fingernails and teeth, and the torso soon disappeared under the frenzied tangle of hands. In a matter of a few minutes, the villagers had turned into a red sack of bones. Not one of the attackers had the compassion to snap his neck during the sickening process. All was very methodical, as if it was just another mundane task. The most terrifying aspect, though, was the victim didn't even cringe. The silence was so deep I could hear his flesh ripping. I would expect any living creature to scream its guts and in such a condition. I can't tell whether he was drugged or half asleep, but I did recognize him dancing like everybody else before walking to the middle of the circle. It was the most outrageous and sadistic sacrifice I've ever heard of. I don't think I will ever forget what I saw. My intentions of approaching further, even if they didn't have any weapons at hand, vanished. Those creatures, I dare not call them human beings, could have killed my whole company in the blink of an eye with their rage. They seem to be completely out of themselves and willing to destroy anything intruding into their path. While their images of sacrifice still haunt my thoughts, I still can't seem to forget that mask. It was so deceptively simple and yet perfect in its design. I haven't seen anything like it. I surely would love to take a better look. I feel the Dalmar, dangerous as they are, could be the most important ethical finding in decades. What I've seen today is crying for some further investigating. I just can't leave them like that. I would never forgive myself. And the mask. That mask. And there we go. That's a story. Probably related to things going on, but we'll get to that. Then, after this drawer is locked. It was a lot of reading, but to be fair, I found it interesting, so yeah. Let's move over this direction then. Back to exploring our abode. Anything more besides the stuff that are put here? Nope. Which means we're gonna go through these open doors. Oh, here's the dining hall. Speak of the devil, that means, I guess the room over there is maybe the kitchen? I'll look in later. Actually, I guess I'll explore that room first, because I believe this is the room that was next to the clock. Which means I can methodologically move through the home. Oh yeah, here we go. Actually, no, this is... Never mind, this was a dining hall. This is actually the exact room I thought it was. I guess I can look at horses first, though. Can I look at myself in the mirror? No? Okay. There's nobody on the line. I thought about calling Jerry, but I couldn't remember his number in London. Well, that's unfortunate. We can still investigate all the paintings. Okay. That looks very Asian for a house here in good old London, apparently. Can't say anything to investigate there, really. Now, there is an upstairs, so I'm going to try and explore the back sections of this house first. Let's get a feel for where we are. Starting over here. We started from this location, so let's investigate here. More religious pictures and sadistically religious pictures. Seems like there is a macabre feeling to the house, which is not a bad thing. Can these be opened? Yes, they can. Is there anything to actually pick up from it, though? I certainly wouldn't have minded trying those expensive wines, except that nobody would have been around to face me.